Okay, class, today we are going to create something like that little pixeler tutorial that I showed you. So the instructions are you're going to find a place, a city, or a location that you're interested in going to, and then putting the title of that big letters across the top and then blending it in and making it look real cool. Kind of like that surf one that we watched as a class, okay? So give it a shot, and we'll have to make some changes because sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. We'll adjust and make it better. Okay, so first thing is we're going to go to stock search right here, and we're going to make sure that, let me turn my mouse pointer on so you can see it. Let's go here. That's this. Okay, so we're going to go to stock search. Actually, I don't even like that. Let's go to mouse pointer. Stock search, click right there. Okay, and we're going to choose a location you're interested in. So I'm going to put in New York. All right, so a little search in New York. And like that sample one that we saw, we want something where you've got something that stands out a little bit. So I was going through that that New York Times look, or New York City Square, New York Square, City Square there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new object here. And it says pre-size or pre-resize image. Well, I think web is just fine. Right? I don't need anything too large. So I'll click on apply, and it's going to open up a new document for me. Okay, so there's my new document. Let me make it a little bit smaller so you can see everything. There's the entire thing. I'm going to have this person here be kind of the central point of the whole thing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and use my little move tool here. So I click on that. I'm going to unlock this layer so that I can actually access it. When you open a photo, it tends to lock it. And then I'm just going to make this larger so that this guy stands out just a little bit more. And I can totally take him and put skyline in there. So I'll do something like that, right? So I want the words to go across, and I want his head to kind of be a little bit in the way. So I'll just go a little bit bigger. But having that foreground subject is really good there, okay? So I've got that. Now it's locked into place. We're good to go. Everything's there, okay? I'm going to duplicate this layer because I'm going to do a little cutout here for the first time ever. So this little dot, dot, dot that you see right there, I'm just going to go down now to duplicate. So nothing changes on my screen. Everything looks the same. But you notice over here, I've got two things right there, right? There's two layers that are exactly the same. What I'm going to do real quick here is I'm going to cut out just to have this guy on this layer. But in order to do that so that I can see what's going on here, I'm going to turn off this layer right there. Again, nothing looks like it's changed. But when I go to cutout, and I really want to use this AI cutout, and I have not had good luck with it. So I click on AI cutout, and I get this something went wrong. Please try again later. I don't have time. And if it works for you, great. Use it, and hopefully it does a good job of cutting out just him. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and do something where I just draw my cutout. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of everything on the screen except for him. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I have a brush that says remove, and you'll notice it says size 145 pixels, and then it says softness 29%. Let me show you what that means. So if I was to take this and go like that, and release my mouse button, look what I've got. I've got this little checkerboard, right? That shows transparency, right? This is all transparency. So now if I was to click and drag and do it again on there, transparent. Everything's doing the way it's supposed to be there. So what I want to do is I can probably make this a little bit larger, and then I can start going around the outside and really getting rid of all the stuff that I don't want to have. Because remember, we can show it again because it's still saying on this background layer over here, but I'm just going to get rid of all the different places where I don't need it. Because again, I'm trying to go for that look where it goes right through everything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right around the edges. I'm not going to get close to the edge of him. I'm just getting the big stuff out of the way. Because when I go around a person, I want to make it as close as I can. So I'm going to go and make this a little bit smaller, do a half the size. And now I'll just go through and just kind of get as close as I can to the edge right there. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect this first time around because and actually, to be dead honest with you, this part down here, it wouldn't matter if I do a bad job back here or not because the only place where it's really going to show is through the top of this head right here. So just kind of cleaning up. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay. If I turn on this layer again, you would not know the difference because it's It's just layers that are stacked on top of each other. All right, so now we want to put some type in here, some text. So I'm going to hit the text tool here, click on add new text, and I'm going to go ahead and put in the name of the city, of the location. So I'm going to say New York, and it's way too big, so I need to feel that back there. But there we go. So I want it to be big, but I don't want to, I don't want to double stack it. So I'll make this all the way through it. There we go. And I want it to go up here, and I want his head to kind of peek over there just a little bit, right? Definitely don't want to use that font. That font's terrible. That's what the font comes on there. And I'm going for, because I want people to be able to see it, I want something with some thick lettering on it. It's something that kind of fits New York. So as I go through here and look at this, some are better than others. If I click on that, there we go. All right, so that's kind of a funky looking font. It's not bad. I'll just go ahead and make it a little bit smaller so it fits there. There we go. Now you notice that it's kind of, his head is kind of in the way. That's fine. That's what I was going for. I could probably make it just a little bit larger. There we go. And I'll go like that. I want to be able to see that you've got some layering going on there. Okay. So yeah, so I got that. If I go and place that in, so I can put that in there, it's in place, it's all done. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this other layer on back here. All right. So now it looks like he's kind of layered in there, right? So my color is where I'm a little bit concerned now with this text color. So what I'm going to do is, and here's the big part of it. To make it look like it's layered the right way, if I move him on top, I click and drag. Now, look at that, huh? Cool. So now it looks like he's actually looking at that lettering. So one of the things we can do to make the text lettering look good is we can do something to the effect of, let me click on choose this layer here, go to my text tool, and I might want to put like a shadow on this. Oh, that shadow messed it up though, so I'm going to turn shadow off. How about an outline? All right, there we go. Now we got some outline, we got some things going here. Let's take a look at the color of the text. So for color, we're going to go here. This is the fill color. Why don't I use a couple of colors that are inside the document, like I've showed you before? So for fill color, kind of the dominant colors here are these blues and these reds. So I'm going to fill it with reddish color. That'll be thin right there. Okay. And then let's go to my outline, and I'll go to color there. Go to my color picker, and I'm going to try like this right there. So that looks. All right. Pretty wild, but it looks okay. I can live with that. All right, so I got those two things there. The color looks good. Now, here's the last thing we do. You saw this in the sample when we launched in class, is we can change the way the text interacts with the picture behind it, and that is called a blending mode. So I'm going to go over here, this little dot, dot, dot that's right there, and I'm going to go to my blend mode, and right now it's set to none. Now, there's a whole bunch, and really you can't be wrong. I just want to be able to see the text and see what some of the things we can do are. So if I go to multiply, what does that do to my text? Well, it makes it a little bit hard to see. So I don't know that I want to use that one because because there's all these different colors behind it, and I can't really see the text. But you can see it makes an effect. Screen, what screen? Screen's kind of cool looking. It's a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit light to see through. Overlay, and I'm just going to kind of go through and play around with these. Now, if you wanted to darken, that looks pretty cool. And you can see like I have all these contrasting colors in the background, so trying to find one of these that works might be a little bit of a difficult task. That one's not too bad. Color dodge, color burn. And what I want you to do is go through and find one you think that looks good. There we go. Hard light. Hard light looks solid. I can read the text, but it's still, I can see the stuff behind it. So the hard light is kind of a winner for me so far. Soft light, can't see anything. Difference, that's kind of funky looking. Exclusion, blue, not at all. Saturation. And then these saturation, color, luminosity ones that are towards the end here, those are a little bit, I definitely don't want to do that. This will erase stuff, I don't want that. Mask, I don't want that. Oh, mask is kind of cool. It actually just grabs the stuff that's behind. So hard light was kind of the winner for me. All right. So I'm going to choose hard light. And so that sets there, so I can move it behind. And then lastly, what we can do is, once I've got these layers in place, I can go, I'll just go to the very top layer right here. And so everything's there, my text is interacting. I can go ahead and put an element over the top of this, an overlay. So if I go to overlay here, and you can see some of these different things on there. Bokeh is always cool. Bokeh is light that is kind of diffused and blurry. So if I go to these and I go and grab one of these little bokehs, maybe I'll grab this one. Put that on there. Look at that. How cool is that? And if I can turn the transparency down a little bit, but you can actually see, there we go, those little lights that go across there. Okay, so I've shown you how to put a little bit of that on there. You can also probably crank it all the way up, go over to your layer over here, and you can play around with blend mode again if you wanted to. Oh, wow, look what that does. That's awesome. Okay, so it came in as screen automatically, and that looks okay. But now let's start playing around with blend modes here and see what it does. Darken. That's pretty awesome. That stuff that it did. Lighten. I like lighten. Looks good. Color dodge. That's a lot to take right there. Okay. Color burn. Hard light. So play around with those. See what you like. I'm going to go back to screen where it started, and then I'm going to turn that transparency down quite a bit. I want to be able to see it, but I don't want to block out everything. Okay. So there we go. That's the entire thing. I've got 4 layers, right? I've got background layer, got my text, I've got that cutout layer, and I've got that element over the top. Everything looks good there. I'm going to click on save. And this is going to be my text cutout. Not a text, it's text and a cutout. And I'll go ahead and do that. For some reason, I think PNG just look better. All right. So I'll say PNG, and I'll go download. Okay. This thing is downloaded. It's good to go. And that's what I'm going to submit for the text cutout assignment in class today. All right. That's the whole thing. And I'll submit that, and my day is over.